I'm making this for all the artists or would-be artists or people that would aspire to be artists. So this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna do a series about it. I want to do like increments and parts, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to rap like you because your sound is unique to you, and rap is its own sound in itself, and it should be unique. It shouldn't be anybody else's story. It shouldn't sound like anybody else. Though nowadays it's more emulated and people are more inclined to use the same sources of inspiration, if that's a proper way to put it. But either way, how to rap, right? First things first, I didn't learn how to rap to a beat. I didn't. So what happened is that I was a poet, right? So lesson number one. Lesson number one. Write poetry. Write poetry, right? Now, don't write poetry to be the poetic, sappy type, but at the same time, yes. So one or two things happens when you write poems, right? The first thing that happens is yes, you get more abstract and you want to put words together that convey a certain feeling overall over the it's the same thing with a rap. It's the same thing, right? The second thing you want to learn is simple rhyme schemes. Simple rhyme schemes, okay? So like Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. You know what I'm saying? Like that scheme. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty, na 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 na, dun 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 dun. Dun. Right? So say man, this is a limerick, right? You go to a limerick. And limericks have certain stanzas. It's been a while since I've written one, but the first example of me ever writing a poem was probably in like pre-K or kindergarten, and we were writing limericks or something like that. And boom, never stopped. I always liked that. Like limericks were always like my thing. They were always like, so it was fine. Um, but in the sense of in the sense of learning, limericks aren't the only thing, but I would start off homework, write a poem, study a poem, or study a poem and then write the poem, right? Look up limericks, look up the scheme, the rhyme schemes for limericks. It's going to be way more, I'll have it all set up a little better next time. But either way, you want those limericks or those schemes, those rhyme schemes, to kind of build your foundation of where you want to go with the art, right? So, with that being said, you learn poetry, right? Learn a little poetry, right? Be sappy, right? When you first begin writing without a beat, right? I would prefer that you start writing without a beat, right? Because when you get onto a beat, it's a whole nother story. So first things first is to rap without the beat. Because rap doesn't need a beat. Hip hop needs the beat. Rap doesn't. That's that. So that's the biggest thing. That's another lesson for you. Hip hop needs the beat. Hip hop needs the music. Rap doesn't. Rappers can freestyle right now. I'll freestyle right now, and once I'll freestyle the rest of the lesson. I might do that. That's actually a good idea. I'll just freestyle the whole. But either way, the whole time you want to stay on top of your game as far as and now when I say being sappy, right? Let's say for instance we do let's say for instance we do You know what? Y'all not even on here, bro. I feel like I'm wasting my energy, but I'm not gonna waste my energy. Cause I need y'all to have this information. So first things first, you going right in the Be Sappy. Safe Answers we writing a love song, right? Safe Answers we writing a love song. Now, a regular love song or a pop kind of love song or a hip hop kind of love song would kind of be like, hey girl, I want to get to know you. I want to show you the things I could grow to or go through or whatever. I don't know. Right. But they're more conversational. Right. When you write for a song, you write almost in conversation status because you're talking, and if you're not talking to someone, you're talking about someone, and most of the time it's perspective, which is first person and third person, which are two different perspectives of writing, which I wouldn't say is advanced, but intermediate writers know how to take a perspective and stop saying I, me, and start saying them, they, us, our, we. You know what I'm saying? So either or, you want to get into that, but if you when you talking in a poetic sense, you start to say things like your eyes remind me of the stars in the nighttime. Your heartbeat as solid as the waves that rush against the seashore. Your skin as soft as the greenest field of meadows staring into the sky, wishing you were mine. That's poetry. You get what I'm saying? Rap is not like that. I mean, not saying rap is not like that, but you get what I'm saying, right? When you write to a beat, there's that. You want to be poetic. You want to be poetic because from being poetic, right? When you're being poetic, and then you're being a rapper, I should say, or a pop artist, let's just say, not just a rapper, because you can be a country singer too, and it's different ways, but from those poetic lines, you get to see and use big things that are essential in not only rap, but the English language. So you start getting into metaphors, you start getting into similes, and you start getting to alliteration and personification. All of these things kind of factor in to how you build, and which we call as rappers, or I don't dignify myself as just a rapper, but as a person with the elite ability that know how to rap, right? What you do is you're going to, those are your precursors to building your punchlines, right? Metaphors and similes are just comparing something or two things with using the words like or as, right? Then to give you guys a history lesson, we don't use that anymore. We don't use metaphors like that in popular rap. Not to say there isn't a lane for it, because I definitely feel as though I am a punchline rapper. But the game has evolved, and we're talking about the top tier, not just the radio. Here's another lesson. Hip hop doesn't live on the radio. Whatever you hear on the radio is not it. You're so far behind the game if you listen to the radio. And there's nothing wrong with liking the songs on the radio, because I do too. But the radio is so behind me, because every time I hear the radio, I was like, yo, I was bumping that song like 2 months ago. Like, dang, yo, that's hard. But I know I got good taste of music. That also lets me know I got a good ear, because most of the songs I like are either Grammy nominated or they got whatever. Like, I don't like songs because everybody else do. I like songs before they like it, and then they get on to it, and I'm just like, oh, all right, well, yeah, I like that song too. Right, but either or, you don't want to get caught into that trap of just being a punchline rapper, because nowadays music or rap music isn't about just punchlines. Everything used to be like, I got the gun about as big as your house. Come through, put a hole in you about the size of your couch while I'm sizing them out. What you lying about? You know what I'm saying? Why you keep capping? You be dying for clout. And now that's like a verse, that's a bar for now, because we don't use metaphors. We rather use the realism factor, the realism in it to say, hey, I don't need to use all of these fancy English mechanics to make a song. Because also you want to remember this. You're not writing the song for you. When you write poetry, when you write the poetry for you, right? Write it for you. Write a write a poem about your however you feeling that day. You had a bad day, write a poem. It could be 4 bars. It could be I want to work, I hate my boss, I'ma quit, but I got things to get. Something like that, right? Boom, that's a whole poem about you. Then when you go venture out and you get a little bit more solid, I would say do about 5 poems and get comfortable writing. If you're serious, write about 5 poems. And then when you write a rap without the beat, mind you, this is all footwork. You really want to be elite. You're never going to rap like me because my sound is for me. You're going to rap like you. But if you want to be elite, you have to write without the beat. Don't write without the beat. But when you make this rap, when you write the rap, and you rapping it, right? Make it about something else. So you start writing, write about you. When you start writing, when you start writing poems, when you start writing raps, or you feel as though you're good enough to start writing raps, that's when your poems transition from poems to, and do not be scared of the growth. There are going to be times that you're not going to want to write. Do it. Write. Michael Jackson, one of the greatest entertainers in the world, it never left me. And Paul McCartney might have told him this, which was one of the greatest artists in the world. But he told me in this book, I forgot what quote, but it was a quote. It was like, no matter what happens, do not stop writing. So don't stop. Once you start, don't stop. Right? And you don't always have to write raps, right? You don't always have to write poems. You just say how you feel, because that's what it is, right? And when you get to that part, that's going to be part 2, right? Today was part 1, rap without the beat, rap on no beats, write poems, at least 3 to 5. Once you get comfortable with just writing down and finding a time in your life to know if you're serious about this, you can write 5 poems in a day. Poems could be 4, like I said, 4 bars. They can be 3 bars, but make it hit home. Make sure you're expressing something within you because you're writing to you. Don't care about your audience. There is no audience. You are your audience. If you like it, then it's good. If you don't like it, it's still good. You just don't like it. But either or, you will have a great time messing with me. Come back. I'm gonna start doing these videos a lot more often. I would say 3-4 days out the week. If you guys want more, if you want more lessons, 3 days out the week, come talk to me. And we'll make it happen. And we will make it happen.